Hey everyone, welcome back to a new video, and today we're going to be talking about the Dreamcast emulator for the PS Vita called the Flycast. I have covered this emulator several times here on the channel, and I thought I'd do a new video here for the year of 2024 and just talk about it and review how to set up your folders, what kind of game files you're looking at to run properly on this emulator, and going through the settings and adding your box art to your games and just having some fun. So stay tuned. All right, so Flycast for the PS Vita, how exciting. Let's take a look at Vita Shell and go over those folders with you. Now, when you set up Flycast through VitaDB or a .vpk file copying over from USB connection or whatever, you will have a new folder under your data, under UXO, or however you have your SD card set up, and you have a new folder called Flycast. Now, under the data folder, what's required is two different files. They're the bio files. The first one is dc_boot.bin, and the second file is the dc_flash.bin. Now, you will need these files in order for you to properly run this emulator and have less issues. So I recommend you get your hands on these files, add them in your Flycast data folder, and you should be all set. Now, as far as the games go, you can place them wherever you like, but there is a recommended format for you to have in order for these games to perform at its best. Here I have my Sega Dreamcast folder, and here are all of the games that are working as far as this emulator goes. Now, there is a compatibility list, and I recommend you guys check out that list before you start adding your games into your PS Vita, because some of these games won't work very good and others won't even start up. So just go ahead and take a look at that list. Make sure that you are selecting some of your favorites or ones that you would like to try, add them to your Vita, and it should be working no problem. And we'll go through that list here in this video later on. So as far as the game files go, you want to look at the files that are ending at .gdi. Those are going to be the files that we want. Those are the files that we're looking for as far as performance on this emulator. I've had issues with .cdi files. For some reason, it just doesn't pick up through the emulator, and I'm unable to run those games. So let's go under Flycast and take a look at those settings and see how we can read our games when you first boot up your emulator. And what's nice too is that you can download the box art for these games. I wish it could stay, but every time I boot up the emulator, this happens where it starts to gather all the CD, I guess, artwork and the box artwork, which is fine. But yeah, let's go under the Dreamcast BIOS here. So when you have successfully added those files to your emulator folder, you should be able to run this and have that main menu Dreamcast going on there. I've never really played Dreamcast, so I don't know what this is. I guess this is like where you turn on the console and this is what's prompted. And you can look at your files, go to music settings, and play your games. And we have our date and time at the top. So if you run your BIOS in the emulator and you're looking at this, thumbs up, you're doing well, and you should be able to play your games no problem. Now, pressing select will bring up this little menu. We can go under settings, eject disk, go to cheats, resume, and exit. So let's exit out of here, and we're back at the main menu, and it looks like all of my games have their artwork, which is pretty cool. Now, in order for you to access this library, just highlight it, press X, and you can move around and press X to launch the game. To go back out, just press circle, go under settings, and here we can change whatever we want to change to improve the performance of each game. And in order for you to get your library loaded up on the front page, you'll have to go under content location and change this to wherever your Sega Dreamcast games are located. Now, we did have a hard time with this because for some reason, when I first did it, it wasn't bringing up my library. So I had to exit out of the emulator several times for it to finally load up all of my games, which is kind of weird. But yeah, make sure you do have your location added and just press the done up here. And I'd recommend just, restarting the application to make sure that it is working. Now, the last update on this emulator was back in October 25th of 2022, but it's running no problem. I'd like to see a new update here soon, this year of 2024. That would be really nice. Let's go back into settings. And down here, these two boxes may not be checked off. So make sure you check these off so you can have your box art and you can fetch your box art for these games. So now let's go to the release page of this emulator. And here the author has suggested options for our setup. So under this tab, and this link will be in the description down below for you. So click on that tab. And here are the options, suggested options setup. So you can find a perfect option setup for each game. A good starting option setup is the following. So we have our general, the most important are video, audio, and advanced. And there are some notes here. If a game has issues during rendering, try to change cable, transparent sorting, shadows, fog, use bitmaps, etc. So make sure to refer to this page as far as like making sure your game is running at full speed. Now we're going to take a look at that compatibility list. And this is from the same author that provided this amazing little website for us. So I'm just going to make a couple changes here as we go. There we are. And you can see the different tags. Now, not every game is going to be on this list. There's a total of 224 games that has been tested or gone through this emulator, and people have reported their issues. So a total of 6 games have crashed. There's 13 that have in-game issues, so games that go in-game but have major issues that prevent it from going further early on. So early on in the game, we have problems. 13 of those are in-game plus yellow. There's 83. So games that go far in-game but have glitches or have non-playable performance. Then we have playable, the blue, games that can be played at a decent enough frame rate with no major bug and glitches. And then we have our perfect list. Perfect meaning that the games that play full speed or very near to full speed with no issues. This is where you want to be at. And making sure you go through this list and see if there is a game or two that you'd like to try and add it to your collection on your Vita. So again, you can take a look at this list, go through each one, and see what you can do to improve your settings or your performance, and go through your settings and see if that will help you handle the game better on your Vita. And those links will be down below for you. So I'm not going to change none of my settings here, but it's very important for you to go through before you start playing your games. I'm just going to leave it at default and see what happens. So let's hit done. Let's go back and let's run one of these games. I'm going to run, let's run Street Fighter 2. And that looks awesome. I'm going to put up the volume. And you won't be able to hear it through my microphone, so I'll just let you know if it's good or not. Press start. Save completed. Now this is one Street Fighter game I've never seen before. And I'm a big Street Fighter fan, so any Street Fighter game I'd love to have in my collection. I'm not so good at fighting games, but yeah, the music is very choppy. But this looks awesome. Now, if you do have the overclock plugin, I recommend you use that. As you can see, it's not being utilized, so we're going to use it. Save our profile. And we have our frames up in the corner there. I'll hit it one more time. Let's resume. Wow. That looks awesome. So this is Street Fighter 2 X for Matching Service Grandmaster Challenge. Wow. Let's do training. I'm not ready to get my ass kicked too soon here. It's probably way different than the other Street Fighter games. And Fei Long, I believe this was in honor of Bruce Lee. So we'll actually do that. And we'll do, oh, let's do DJ. So it's cool to see like these characters, these like newer characters in a Street Fighter 2 kind of format. That's pretty awesome, right? USA. So the audio is very choppy. And I guess this game isn't too demanding, right? I mean, it's a Street Fighter side-scroller. But yeah, the controls feel very smooth. Man, this is awesome. So pressing select will bring us back here. We can save our state. Pressing X. So that is it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you have any questions, please comment down below. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.